All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich Celenza. Thanks for checking out the Rich Celenza Show. So, what I want to talk about today is people needing to stop comparing their health to others. If you know anything about me, I talk a lot about health and wellness. I also talk a lot about image, anti aging, and all these different types of things. And I think a lot of times people use a cop out, which is comparing their health, to someone else who may be healthier and kind of giving excuses why they're not in as good a shape as, say, somebody else. Or it could be an age thing, like, I'm not as young as I used to be, or all these other things. I get it. I get it 100%. We can all use excuses why we're not in better health, because for the most part, most of us could be healthier. And I am not here to tell anybody to be an extreme health nut or a health freak. That's not what I'm here to do. But I do think a lot of people, as they get older, and I'm talking 30, 40, 50, slowly but surely start to program their mind to kind of have an out why they're gaining weight or why they're getting unhealthier. It could be like, oh, I'm married now, which you may, that excuse. So I have kids now, or I have more responsibilities. I have all these other things, so that's kind of why I'm overweight, or that's kind of why I don't have time to go work out, or that's why I eat shitty food, because I don't have a lot of time throughout my days. All this type of bullshit, which I'm here to tell you, you need to stop doing that. And here's the deal. No one at the end of the day gives a shit. You personally have to take care of your own health. No one, unless maybe if you're a millionaire, maybe they'll cook your meals. But even if you eat great, let's say, but you never exercise or do anything else, you may be healthy. I'm not saying you're not, but if you don't get off your ass either, you got to do more than just eat well. Just like you got to do more than just exercise to be healthy. You also have recovery, you have sleep, you have all these different types of things. Hydrating, and not to overwhelm anyone, but it's not as complicated as you think. But I've kind of gone through this throughout my life with a lot of my friends who are a lot of them are workout nuts, or they were gym rats and worked out throughout their life. Now we're hitting our 50s. But now it's actually on a comeback, because a lot of my friends, I think, through their 40s kind of let themselves go. Didn't give a shit. Especially with their kids. A lot of them had a lot of kids, and they kind of just got wrapped up. And I get it. Wrapped up with all their kids' sports, activity, schooling, especially through the teen years and all that, and driving, pickup, all that shit. I get it. But now in my 50s, I think one of the reasons a lot of my friends are working out, well, I know this, is because I never stopped working out. And one of my friends always says, "Thank God you were consistent, because you're the one who I'm always looking at and saying, I got to get in better shape. If Rich can do it, I can do it." And a lot of these guys, believe me, originally were bigger and stronger than me. They knew way more about fitness and health and wellness. That I can assure you. But like I said earlier, they kind of just let themselves go. A lot of them just got heavy and out of shape. But now it's starting to come around. A lot of my friends now are understanding that even in your 50s, we can all look a lot better. I think a lot of us were programmed to think, oh my God, I remember when a guy was 50 back in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Guys that were 50 looked 70 years old to us. But now 50s and 60s, a lot of men are in good shape, especially in your 40s and 30s. I see guys in the gym that are 40 years old that look like they're in their late 20s. I even see guys in their late 40s that blow me away that look like they're in their 30s. And I don't even care about the way you look. It's not just about the way you look, even though that's a huge component. And I love that component, believe me. But I do want people to understand, if you're going to use the excuse of looking at somebody else, look at them to inspire you. Not use them as an excuse to say, hey, the reason my buddy's the same age as me, he looks this way, is because he's got a lot more time, or he's got a lot better genetics, which could kind of be the truth. But also, that doesn't give you an out for your life. What does this other person have to do with your health and wellness? You're probably not even with your friends that much. I'm just saying, and I do think a lot of husband wives, boyfriend girlfriends, I don't care if you're straight or gay, they kind of fall in the shape of whoever they're with a lot of times too. Because let's face it, if you're dating somebody who's really in good shape and you're not, most likely you're going to try to stay in better shape to a certain degree. That doesn't mean you have to be as extreme as this person. But I do see a lot of times when one falls out of shape and the other one's kind of iffy, that one falls out of shape. And you're kind of both looking at each other like, one of the reasons, whoever I'm with, they don't like to work out, so I don't work out as much. Instead of going to the gym now, we go do this, or we go to the local pub, or we like to go here, and we do go on walks once in a while. But for the most part, we're just kind of chilling right now. And if you really, you got to look at yourself and say, what direction am I heading in? Not just now, 5, 10, 20, 30 years. I talk about all the time, because if you're not looking in that direction and you want to live a longer life and you want to live a healthy longer life, if you're gaining weight now, every year you're gaining that 5 pounds or that 10 pounds or whatever the case may be. It could even be 2 or 3 pounds. Look at it in, 20 years. What does that look like? You got to be honest. Also, look at your parents a lot of times with their genetics. What have they done that has worked? What hasn't? Your siblings. There's nothing wrong with analyzing your genetics and what other people around you are doing and not doing, because a lot of times we are similar to them. I'm not saying we're identical by any means, but there are similarities there. If you have siblings that work out and have really, and they're older or younger, whatever, you're like, wow, you know what, I want to learn from this person. I do want to kind of look like that. Instead of using an excuse of going, oh, the reason they're like that is because of this. They're younger. Or the reason they're like this is because, again, they have more time or they eat better or this. Who cares? That has nothing to do with anything. But what we have to focus in on, what do you look like and feel like? And is it feeling better for you every day? Or are you starting to feel worse? So hopefully that helps in one way or another. At least that's my 2 cents. But please stop using the cop-out and the excuse about what everybody else looks like or the time they have or genetics and everything else. We get it. Everyone's different. Worry about yourself. Create that blueprint that works specifically for you if you want to get healthier. Because if you are comparing yourself to others all the time, there's a reason for that, you comparing. If you didn't care, you didn't care. People I know that are heavy, that don't give a shit about, say, me, that works out all the time, they're like, Rich, I love that you work out. I don't ever want to work out again. I get it, right? But if you're sitting there kind of, complaining or coming up with excuses all the time, it may be affecting you a lot more than you think. And don't let whoever you're with again deter you from getting healthy. I will officially wrap it up with that. I think so many people in relationships, or sometimes even friends that you hang out with, they almost, don't use them as an excuse. And if they want to pull you away from being healthy, how good of a person are they? I don't care if I'm lazy or starting to get overweight. I don't want anybody else to go through that. I want everyone to be as healthy as possible. And if you're around people that love you, they will want the same for you as well. You got any questions or comments, please feel free to hit me up. I'm at rich@richcelenza.com.